Hello. um, I considered it. Um, it was one of those that I wasn't 100% sure if I had all of the energy required for a full on normal stream. So I figured I'd at least start with something that was lower energy, see how I was doing. Uh, for those of you who may have, missed all of the events, it's been like 9 days since I last streamed, according to my stuff. So that would have been last Wednesday. Um, yeah. What was it? Thursday? Or was it Friday? The times kind of blended together a lot. Um, so, you know, just doing my normal thing. It must have been Thursday. Uh, and I'm like, hey, my thigh's a little itchy. This isn't anything too strange. I struggle with the depression, and sometimes it means that I go a few days without showering. So it's like, okay, I probably need to shower. It's not anything too terrible. And I don't really like exercise a whole lot. I'll take a shower before, like after doing my aquatic therapy when I do that and stuff like that. Um, so it's not like I'm getting sweaty and then wallowing in my own filth. It's just sometimes everything involved with showering is too much for my brain. And yeah, so just a little bit of itch, nothing too weird. And then I noticed it's like I was like, huh, it's actually like little bumpies. I wonder if there's like bugs or something. Because we do let our cats outside sometimes. We just have like a patio, and we're on the first floor of an apartment, which is above two floors of parking garage. And it's possible maybe they brought a bug in. So I was like, hey, Kittlefish, what's up with my leg? And I'm like, oh hey, yeah, looks like you got like a rash going on. Oh, okay. Nothing terrible. And it's around dinner time. I'm just sitting there munching my dinner, playing Animal Crossing or watching YouTube videos, whatever it was. And then, it's like, I get up, I go to the bathroom, and I notice splotches. And I was like, huh, those seem like, those seem like they're kind of impressive, and I am itchy wherever they are. And so it's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. Famous last words, my friends. Um, by about 2 in the morning, the itch had progressed to most of my body. Um, we'll put a we'll put a little no, not on top, in the hair. Oh, that's too floaty. Oh, come on. Oh, no. No, you're too much. Too much. Shoulder? Yeah, shoulder. We'll go shoulder. So yeah, about 2 a.m. I I was like, huh. And I normally stay up until about 2 a.m. So I was like, this is kind of crazy. I have no idea what's going on. And about an hour later, the splotches have spread even further. And it's like down my arms, up my legs, along my sides, uh, intensely under my cleavage, or well, under my chest, across the top of my chest. Uh, and Kittlefish is like, yeah, so we're going to urgent care in the morning as soon as they open. And I'm like, I'm just itchy. It's fine. uh, so I have no idea what happened, actually. I just know that I spent several days with a full body rash and varying levels of discomfort. Um, I was prescribed steroids and a steroid cream. I used hydrocortisone, uh, lotion, and oatmeal baths. And several times throughout the weekend, I asked Kittlefish if they could fetch me a belt sander. I just wanted to remove my flesh. It's fine. Uh, yeah. Yeah, and I looked through, and it wasn't presenting as chickenpox or shingles. I didn't have blisters. It was welts or wheals or however they're called. And they would start out as small spots, eventually merge and grow. And yeah, the worst part was when it got on my hands. Uh, like the back of the hand was fine in a way. It still itched, but it wasn't like terrible. It was the palms of my hands that was just awful. And like there was a pressure sensitivity issue too. If I like squished them together or put my hands down on anything, it was like, oh, that hurts. Got on my feet as well and did the same thing where walking was painful. That was great. And yeah, so that was not fun. And that's why I've been gone for the last week or so, like week and a half. It's because I didn't have, I couldn't think. I would have like after I took the steroids or after I applied the steroid cream, I'd have like a couple hours of like it itched, but not like I want to tear my flesh off. And I could like actually like maybe play Animal Crossing or lay on the bed and nap because I wasn't getting a full night's sleep for most of the weekend. I just, I'd wake up, I would bury my hands in, you know, the softest blanket I could find, or actually, um, amusingly enough, Suki has the most amazing fur. It is so fucking soft. I love her. She spent a lot of time by my side, and so I would just like, whichever hand was like feeling the worst, I would just like reach out and just be like, ah, blessed cat fur. It actually helped. And yeah, and actually, honestly, one of the things that actually really, really helped, amusingly enough, was the oatmeal bath. Uh, it was, I think it was like Friday night. We decided to try that. Or no, yeah, Friday. Was it Friday night or Saturday night? Like I said, the time just sort of blended together. And yeah, I just like put my hands in and I was just like, oh, I have seen heaven. uh, um, so there is still, like, I still kind of feel itchy here and there, but I can't tell if it's just Lissath is itchy or if, like, there's just residual, I'm going to be itchy for a while. And I do have dizziness issues right now. Not terrible. Also, hello. Good to see you. Welcome. Which is part of why I decided to go for Power Wash instead of what was scheduled, which would be Assassin's Creed. I wasn't 100% sure if I could, keep up with the energy of it. So, but yeah, yeah, I'm doing much, much better. Let's see if I can actually get this guy more on my shoulder. Why am I itchy? I spent about a week with a uh, full body hive slash rash. So I'm assuming it's lingering after effects from that. Or just my body's so used to being itchy that it's just like, oh, itchy signals. Either's terrible. I don't know. All right, let's actually swap over. Put that there. Put that there. Oh my gosh. Steam. What the hell? This is what happens when Steam just randomly decides to update before you start streaming. Is it doesn't always decide it's going to come back. I've always had this issue with Steam, and I don't know why. Yeah, it was not a fun week, but I believe everything is better now, so hopefully it will not be a problem anymore. But yeah, I don't know what it was. I took a couple COVID tests even. because my initial reaction to the COVID vaccine was similar. Uh, I had it was hot, it was itchy, it was, localized and all that. But oh no, it was just medical horror week. That's not good. What happened, Elixir? Downloads. Those are schedules. Oh my god, everything needed to update. Why did everything need to update? Let's make sure. Oh, I mean that's kind of important. Yeah, I hope your brain surgery is still working. That's concerning. Hello, minimize. Gaming. Oh, I don't need that on. Why is that on? I'm not dying in this game. If I'm dying in this game, there's a problem. Oh, that's good. That's really good. So yes, Powerwash Simulator got an update recently, which included new jobs. Looks like Powerwash is small. Let's fix that. There we go. That's better. Thought that looked a little wrong. All right. So this is the subway. It's gross. I did a little bit of it because I was like, power wash, yay. And then I was like, you know what? When they were cleaning myself up after sticking the needle up my leg to the brain, nurses started talking about waiting for the what? I'm sorry? No, that's not something you want to hear when people are poking around in your brain. Yeah, they got new levels. Look at this thing. It is full of dirt. And a face. It is big, yeah. There's also a few other things afterwards. A couple... like a car, I think. Let me actually look. What was it? We've got the subway platform, a stunt plan, a fortune teller's caravan, and an ancient statue. There are... the vintage car has challenges added to it. There's a Prime Vista Pro skin. The ladders are a little easier to use. But yeah. They're talking about a new emergency pay. Oh, okay, that's a relief. Yeah. I mean, I really enjoy this game just for how soothing it is in general, but it's really nice that it's just like, oh yeah, it's actively still being updated. It's the delightful kind of early access. Yeah, it is still very much beta. Trying to remember. Yep, that. I was hoping to see what Yeah, it's 0.08. It's not even hit a 1.0 version yet. And, you know, honestly, I feel like I've already gotten my money's worth out of the game. So anything from here is just, uh, what's the word? Gravy? I don't know what the actual phrasing is. I don't remember. Bonus! Yeah! Actually, that is the correct word. Thank you. I love when my brain's just like, English, what's that? It's not like I can even blame being like multilingual or anything on it. It's just like, oh yeah, no, just brain don't want to work. My metric for is a game worth it is it more value for my money than a cinema ticket? God, how much even are movie tickets these days? Something like 15 or less for a couple hours of, yeah, I mean, that's not terrible. I can see that. One of the other games I've played recently, what was it? $7.55 for matinee, $16 for Super IMAX 3D. I've only been to an IMAX film like once. Ages ago. Well worth it, mind you, but it was still ages ago. No, actually, it was Fantasia 2000. I did say it was ages ago. You want to go to IMAX, you don't want to watch a movie? Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. It's kind of more of an experience than like an entertainment. I feel like it would be really good with like informational, like planet Earth type things. I intensely offended Kittlefish's mom because I stated that the Sorcerer's Apprentice in Fantasia 2000 was my least favorite of the Fantasia films. And it's about 70% because, well, of course they picked the one that has Mickey in it. And a good, you know, rest of it was just because watching it on the IMAX, no matter how well done it was, it just wasn't up to the same visual acuity and quality as the rest of the films or the rest of the animations. And it was like, yeah, sure, it's a really good piece for its time, but it's just not comparatively anything to write home about. Yeah, it's definitely a product of its era. And, you know, I will stand by that hand-drawn animation is, in many cases, a lost and dying art. But if your hand-drawn animation was drawn for a screen the size of your hand instead of a screen the size of a football field, it's not gonna look good. Yeah. There's a few entertainment pieces I think that we all can agree are like, yes, that was a technically good movie. Meh. Or that's the reason why people, just are like, that's not my favorite of the series, even though Avatar. Yes, it is a technically good movie. It was visually appealing. It had an approachable storyline that was easily digestible. But that was also kind of its downfall, was the storyline was just kind of like, It's a story I've seen 1,000 times in, pretty much the same way. Let's not get into colonialism and white savior bullshit either, because that's a factor. Now, I do, actually, speaking of Avatar, have one of the most controversial opinions of all time. If you ask anyone who is a fan of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, the live-action movie does not exist. However, in my opinion, it served an incredibly necessary purpose. I tried watching Avatar. I got a handful of episodes into it, and just, it was childish. It was absolutely just meh. Nothing good. I didn't have anything good to say about it. And I was like, everyone says it's so great, but like how long do I have to watch this before it gets good? It's the humor was childish, and it's a kid's show. And I was, whatever age I was at the time, probably my 20s, maybe my 30s, I don't remember anymore. And, I was like, oh, they made a live action movie of it. Really? They made a live action movie of that kid's show? That's interesting. And I watched the live action movie, and I was like, oh my god. This legitimately does have an amazing storyline. The only reason I gave Avatar: The Last Airbender a second chance was because of the live action movie. And people are always baffled by that fact. They're just like, but it's so bad. I'm like, well, yeah, it's not great. Not compared to the TV series. But that says more about me than anything. What are you saying, Isaiah? What are you saying this says about me? I mean, you could probably make a pretty good guess on what sort of animations I enjoy and I don't enjoy. Based on that fact. Anyone who watched the live action adaptation and thought this has an amazing story. Like, the world building was fascinating. What I could see in the film. It had, like, I know movie adaptations are almost always horrible. Um, Here's looking at you, ancient Dune movie. Um, uh, so if the live action film interested me enough in the state it was, packing however many hours of animation into the 2 to 3 hour film, then obviously the TV series would be much, much better. And actually worth my time. Yeah, like I full well believe if you're going to experience something that has a book and a movie, watch the movie first. If you don't have any experience with either of them, watch the movie first. Yes, you might go into the book being spoiled by the things that are like in there. But you will have in general a better experience than inverting it. Where you'll be just, disappointed by how much was left out and, favorite scene XYZ, you'll be just astounded by, how much better it is. Well, I mean, I can't say that I don't appreciate it because it's why I got into the Dune franchise as a whole, was I really liked the Dune movie. And I was like, I'm going to read these books. I don't know what teenage me was thinking. But, I actually have a sincere issue, or not a sincere issue, but I don't have a very easy time separating out this is a separate entity from object that I have enjoyed. It's part of why when I was into Harry Potter, I've still only seen like one of the movies. And I watched like one, and I was just like, this is nothing like what I imagined in my head. I don't like this. And I've just, And now I just don't really care to give the author any more money. Even though I could probably buy them secondhand and it wouldn't give anyone any money, but then it's in my house and I feel... Well, you're comparing apples and oranges. Actually, in that case, you're comparing, like, bananas and apples. They're... I could easily say that Diane Duane's So You Want to Be a Wizard series is a better Harry Potter. And it is at least in the same wheelhouse. It would be comparing Granny Smith's to... Galas, let's say. They're both apples. They're both stories about kids becoming wizards. But like, that's not really the case when you're comparing Terry Pratchett's Discworld series to Harry Potter. I devote 0% of my brain power to... And that's perfectly fair. It was important to me when I was growing up. I enjoyed it. It helped me connect with my friends. I think it's kind of funny as a personality test type thing when people are like, oh, what house are you? And I people are always startled when I respond because pretty much every time I've taken the test, I've like always been Slytherin. Which, you know, they're just like, what? But when I take super detailed ones, I'm actually usually like, the Sorting Hat would just sort of sit there and be like, fucking tell me where you want to go, bitch, because I don't know where you belong. Which, of course, would end with me being like, look, I am a pansexual, gender fluid switch. I am contractually obligated to not choose anything ever in my life. What the fuck do you want out of me? Oop, nope. Also, I am slightly ashamed to admit that I have attempted about a dozen times over my life to get into the Discworld series. And it doesn't matter what book people ask me to start with. It doesn't matter what order I'm given. I'll usually read through about one book, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a good book. But I feel absolutely no, you know, drive to pursue the rest of the books. He's a good author. He's a great author. I won't say any different. But, it's just not one of those series for me. It's funny. I enjoyed the heck out of Good Omens. I thought I would really like, you know, the Discworld books, but I guess I just really like the touch that Neil Gaiman gives to those books. Y'all can sign me up for my what's it? I can get my my nerd card removed now. I'll get cancelled. Gasp. Seth doesn't like Terry Pratchett. No. I think he's a perfectly respectable author, and I believe that he has done a lot, and I respect everything he has done and everything he's written. Shovelware like the Shannara series? Doesn't sound familiar. I'm like, it sounds familiar, but I don't think so. I have a very odd collection of books that, you know, I like, as you can see. Oh. See, Token was a goddamn slog and a half. I read all of them. I had friends who were super into them. I am a reader. Like, I have always been a reader. It is my escapist fantasy of choice growing up. Oh my god. It was so hard to read those. His world. Oh, okay, yes. Amazing world building. Like, I would love to be in a campaign world built by Tolkien. I consider myself lucky to have read Lord of the Rings around 10, but I thought footnotes in a book were the coolest thing ever instead of way too much like homework. Oh no, I wouldn't want Tolkien as my DM. Not at all. Not in the least. I mean, the writing sequences would be glorious, I'm sure, but... Tolkien is great, but really needed an editor. I could go for that. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty solid thing. A person to be like, hey, I know maybe you're not. Actually, I don't know. Was he being paid by the word there? It's 2 chapters of nothing. Tolkien was a guy who just wanted to make conlangs tricked into writing books. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. So a book series that I encountered at my grandparents' was Clan of the Cave Bears. It was an anthropological novel with a side order of smut. Especially once, you know, you actually get her to interact with her husband to be, and it's just pages and pages of here's a description of glaciers, and here's a description of how spear throwers work, and here's a description of flint knapping, and here's a description of basket weaving, and it's an anthropological novel. And then bam, fucking. Oh yeah, yeah. And how it filled her up so perfectly and made her happy, and so I actually, honestly, I did enjoy the books. Like, they were fun. I enjoyed learning from them because, you know, that sort of stuff is interesting to me. And apparently I do kind of enjoy that genre, given kind of what Dune is like in a way, minus the fucking. It's just vast swaths of description of things. Hated the last book. I apparently hated the last book so much that I put it out of my mind that I had ever read it. Read it again while I was living here in Houston with Kittlefish, I think. And I think Kittlefish can remember me going, just ranting about how much I hated the book. Because the end of the book is pretty much like, oh, you know, she becomes, you know, a shaman of her people and all that jazz. And her big revelation to the people was that, you know, it's not just women that make babies, and Like, it just... And it's like, oh... And there's like this sequence of like Mother Nature crying because, you know, things will never be the same. And it's like, you mean to tell me that this was all set up for an, oh yeah, dads exist and everyone has regarded this as a bad move since? Is this literally the point? To just be like, oh yeah, world's gone downhill since we figured out that, you know, semen is important in conception. You fucking kidding me? 20 years on, they sent people home from the trip for sneaking out and drinking alcohol in the nearby town to campsite, but wouldn't send me home after getting injured and unable to do anything for over a week. I was just sitting in this hotel room in the bed with crutches for nearly 2 weeks. Have them sneak you some alcohol or something then. Damn. What the hell? That... Oh, you can't drink on this trip, but oh, you broke your leg. I guess you're stuck here. What logic? What logic? We were 14, so the drinking wasn't a thing and against the law. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Sending home flight costs was essentially a fine to the parents. Oh. Gotcha. Sounds like when I got bored and started reading Stranger in a Strange Land for my sci-fi cred. Stopped reading around chapter 3 when the woman was trying to flirt with the stranded guy that didn't know anything about human interaction. Oh no. Ah. My guess is they didn't want to fine my dad a few £100 for a flight. Okay. I mean, that sucks, but I guess I can understand the logic. There wasn't even a TV! Oh, God. Ew. I mean, books are great, but one can only read so many books, as heretical as that sounds. One of the lab teachers let me a laptop that had a few movies on it, but it was 2003. The hard drive could hold 3 movies, and Wi-Fi didn't exist. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, oh jeez. I did watch Bad Boys or Bad Boys 2 several times that way. That was one of them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you got it right there, Hisai. You definitely need diversity in your entertainment. Especially if you're, like, uncomfortable. I think that was one of the worst parts of having the hives, was when I was just bored out of my mind. too tired to sit at my computer, too itchy to even contemplate, like, typing on my computer or resting my hand on my mouse. Absolutely nothing on YouTube or any movie type objects seeming at all conceivably good to watch, and just bored. Completely and totally bored. But at the same time, my brain was just, nope, can't do anything. Back in my day, we couldn't just hop on the internet to watch a movie. The pipes were too small. We could barely get flash animations back then. And to get on the internet, you had to submit yourself to a minute of audio torture. Aw, man. Do you remember interlacing your images? The absolute frustration of an image that was not interlaced. At least I think it's called interlacing. I feel like I need to go open up Photoshop and make sure. Where it loaded, you know, line of pixels by line of pixels painstakingly, versus the ones that loaded in pixely and then resolved. Yup, line by line. Oh, it was the worst. I was like, you monster. There was a Simpsons joke about looking at porn like that. I'm not surprised, and I probably have seen that scene. 'Cause that's old enough that I probably was watching. Okay, I'm losing my mind. That's cool. I swear a cat just came over and nudged my chair or something, but there's nothing on the ground. I still see cats even though I haven't had one for 3 years. Yeah. Sometimes, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to take the dog out. I haven't lived with a dog for like 10 years. There's like an object on the ground that's the right size and corner of vision. I'm like, oh hey kitty. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm part of fighting. Dad's internet history and 240p lesbian softcore blew my mind. I remember porn being limited to 59-second clips with a 1-second ad to buy the DVD. "14-second hentai clips online." Funny story about hentai. So, 'tis the year 2000, 2001 or so. And my parents, who are my father in particular, big comic book nerds. My dad, unbeknownst to, you know, him, had been, without realizing it, collecting a manga for, at this point, quite a while. And we discovered there was a local public access TV show. Hands up if you know what the hell that is. And they see an animation of said manga that my dad has been collecting, which for the record was Oh My Goddess. My dad had been collecting the manga for ages at that point. And they're like, oh man, it has an animation. And this is how they learned about anime. And this is how, I get into anime. Um, so, we get involved into the local anime club scene. And my dad tells my grandma at some point, "Oh yeah, we're doing anime stuff now." And my mom, or not my mom, my grandma, pretty good with computers. She did a lot of what's it called? Genealogy work. So she was not unfamiliar with computers and technology and things like that. Oh, God damn it. I want on my head, but I don't want it that floaty. I don't want it that floaty. Close. Close. Good enough. Serenissima gets a sad little ghost plush. Come on. No, come on. Not in the hair. Not on top of the hair. Fine. And so my grandma, doing her thing, is like, okay, well, let's see what this anime is. The internet, being it what it was, in, the early 2000s, several of the first search results are hentai. And grandma then calls up my dad, going, "What the fuck are you showing my granddaughter?" We have a truth and a lie going on. What have we got here? Okay, let's go for something relevant to with the conversation. My first piece of anime merch is for an anime I have still never seen. And oh god, what else is there? She's giving me bugs. Oh no. Crap. What did I say? What did I say? Right. First piece of anime merch is for an anime that I still have not seen. And I never finished watching the first anime that I ever watched. Wait. Did I just give you 2 lies or did I just give you 2 truths? Crap. Good job, me. Truth is relative. I had to try. I'm now trying to remember what the first anime I watched that I knew was anime. And I'm not sure. Because if it's Sailor Moon, then I haven't seen it. But if it's something else... Oh boy. I think I saw Sailor Moon before I knew it was an anime, so I don't think that counts. I don't know. Maybe... it's a fun fact. People used to be sending links from that around to try to get people in trouble. Oh, man. So yeah, we'll go with the first one is first piece of anime merch never seen. We'll go with the second one as first. Yeah, we'll go with the first anime. Yeah. It was a pop-up. Oh, fuck you, Dad. It was not a pop-up ad, and you know it. There are not a dozen windows of porn on the computer because, oh, well, it must be a virus. I don't know where all these viruses are coming from. It's totally my child. I hate this. Is it weird that if this game had higher res dirt, I'd enjoy it more? No, I can understand that. I do enjoy the differences in quality of dirt, I guess. Like, especially when you have the starter one. It actually leaves some of the other textures behind, and you can actually see the grime and lichen when you take the dirt off. But I have the high powered thing, so you can't actually see it as well. But yeah, this sort of stuff might be more what, you know, aesthetically pleases you. Whereas I'm just able to pretty much blast off everything except for, like, rust without a lot of effort now. But high pressure all the way. Black Mesa is great if you've never played it. Not saying that as a stream recommendation. Just like, it's a good game. Very worthy modern remake of Half-Life 1. You know, I don't think I've ever actually played any of the actual Half-Life games, now that you say that. Two schools of thought on that. Ah. Oh, there's a sign under here. Either go play the original, see how groundbreaking it was at the time, or play Black Mesa if you're more likely to be annoyed by the non-groundbreaking parts, older graphics, and want a modern, polished experience. Huh. I would probably be more likely to play the quote-unquote remake, as it were. playing retro games versus retro feel games, you realize how much quality of life stuff you take for granted. Uh-huh. Technically, Black Mesa was a fan game slash mod, but they did such a good job that they got made official by Valve. Oh, nice. That's always fun when that kind of thing happens. "1984 will be the year we go off-road with Driving Me Nuts." I know I started going up against the Marines because they were actually challenging and would launch a grenade right into my face if I wasn't paying attention. Oh no! This place hasn't been cleaned since 1983. Looks like... probably sometime in 1984, I would say, because this is, intended to be, like, probably a coming soon movie theater thing. No, I would say you normally get maybe 6 months out. Yeah. I've seen those sort of adverts before. Although, technically, this sign is older than me. Alright. Looks like that finished up. Looks like something you'd see in the late 60s. Also true. Also true. Oh my goodness. Okay. Uh-huh. I would... Think. Excuse me. Alright, so story time about the truth and the lie. The first one is true. The first piece of anime merch I ever owned, I actually had no idea what it was. It was this little fuzzy brown plush thing. Looked kind of like a rabbit. I have still, to this day, never seen Tenchi Muyo. But I believe probably my first anime was, that I knew was anime, was the, Oh My Goddess series that I mentioned. That my parents, were into. Definitely watched all of the anime. I'm 80% sure I have seen the, end of the manga. Huh. August 11th, 1984. This gives us an even better date. Little Mini Rei, Asuka, Mari, Shinji, and Kaworu. I don't know who the third person is. Also, I briefly need to take a break, get more water, use the bathroom, etc. So I will do that real quick. Do the same if you need to. I see the conversation went places while I was gone. What are we talking about now? And how did we get there? Hello. Evangelion to Warhammer. Okay, that's a logical leap of you're going from giant mechs and messy storylines to what is a polite way to sum up Warhammer? I was going to say more giant mechs, but I actually don't think. Do, do they have mechs? I know they have effectively like power armor with the dudes, but I wasn't sure about giant. Okay, yeah, I'm not perfectly cogent in Warhammer. Planetary sized AI mechs who immediately made a pack of chaos. Oh, right. See, I was only mostly aware of like skull sized mechs, so you can see my confusion. Man, now I miss that silly little campaign that we did with one of my partners. I like the simplified form. Biomex. Ooh. See, part of the issue I have with 40K is that like the content seems super interesting sometimes. Like I get that it's effectively kind of a parody universe sort of thing. Um, but the fandom tends to take itself too seriously for the most part. I mean, not like you guys, because like you aren't necessarily what I think of when I think of 40K fandom, but like you know the ones that I'm talking about. Yeah, the ones that are like, oh yeah, I unironically love this thing that is intended to be a thinly veiled fascist allegory. It's like, your your white supremacy is showing, friend. Now, I heard a little bit about the Fuhrer and the Lord of the Rings fandom. Some casting thing in the Hobbit movie, I think. Amazon series that comes out in September. Black character from Gondor. I could see how that maybe could have not great implications, but I have a feeling that's not what people are upset about. Or is that what people are upset about? Like I didn't hear most of the black female dwarf queen. Okay, that sounds fucking cool. Like, why are people mad? Oh, people be racist. Oh, right. I forgot. Black people can't be cool or have cool things. Right. Gotcha. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I support black female dwarf queen. It's about lore. Not it's not about lore. It's about the fact that you can't tolerate seeing someone be in charge who's black. Just fucking fantasies my escape. Hey, how about you give some escape to the people who maybe actually kind of need it some? You know. uh, don't censor me on I mean, you did pick the word. uh, yeah, no, I don't blame you. I would totally take a break from that community too. I'm not even in it, and I would. It's the only word in America. Ah. I mean, yeah, it is. It is kind of an insult to a good one. Automata's fine with what word? It's entirely possible. I mean, what? No, I had to okay it. That's why Serenissima could get away with it. I okayed the word. And what the hell did they do to the seats? Like, look at this. This is baddie. People arguing lore about why there shouldn't be non-white people, even though that's not even actually. Yup. Like, if Tolkien legit describes certain races as being fair skinned, etc., and all that jazz, then yeah, sure, I could understand. Like, but you know what? I think a reimagining of Tolkien's works with, like, Hispanic elves would be kind of cool. I don't know why I chose that out of everything possible, but it's what popped into my head first, so I'm sticking with it. Fear of the first D&D movie that had a black lady as an elf and people arguing she was on a drow or something. I... Okay, there is a difference between an African slash African American slash whatever type of person and a drow, people. For one, the former has skin like fucking a moonless night or something like that. If you're gonna be, God, there are very few living people who actually have the skin color of a drow. I've seen them. They're gorgeous. But they, well, I'm okay, there's a difference between black and black. Does that make sense? Because most highly melanin tinted skin is a shade of very dark brown. And that's Generally, not the sort of black you're talking about with the dark elves. You're talking about that unnatural sort of black. Well, yes, that would be logical, but I was. Look, sass brain no worky well some days. African skin black to. Kind of, maybe. I think yes. It's also mostly I don't remember what the correct terminology is right now. And yeah, I know y'all are friends and stuff. And I just. I don't want to. I'm not black. I'm a normal human color. Uh, but yeah, there is some America and race is a problem. Oh, yeah, that would be dirty. Excuse me, how am I supposed to even clean that? Yeah, and then you also get into the issue of, well, why why are why is black skin always villainized, etc., etc.? Like black is bad in that sense of, oh, you got the white magic, you got the black magic. Just 3,000 years of events in a short space of time, so these different characters can coexist. I mean, that's probably part of it. Bad and not lore appropriate. Eh. Or is it just introducing new canons? I'm joking. Okay, so that bench is clean. Yeah. But black people in my fantasy. Yeah. And that's pretty skeevy when it pretty much boils down to that. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but that would be saying too much. Ugh. Star Wars sequels, racist complaints. Ugh. Me? I'm not super fussed, to be honest. Just don't get me in trouble. Gonna go to sleep shortly. I mean, race is a finicky subject, and speaking as a person who is very white skinned, I'm not making a joke about the fact that my avatar is pasty ass white to the point of being unnatural. Um, I personally am a Caucasian human being. It's not really something that I have much to say about besides just going traditionally, yeah, we kind of suck and need to do better. Oh, yeah. Wasn't there also a hubbub about Diablo 3, the angel getting ending up being a black man too? Oh yeah, no, it's not controversial to say racists suck. It's just really, really easy for things to get misinterpreted sometimes. Because I've been really sarcastic, and it would be super easy for someone to be like, oh yeah, black people can't have nice things. And be like, Lasath is evil. They think black people shouldn't have nice things. Look at this clip. And it's just like, that's not what I meant. Thanks. But I'm not famous enough for that anyway, so no big. Yeah, the sad thing is it shouldn't be controversial to say that, you know, don't be racist. Well, we're in territory. Everything wrong with Diablo. They've always had a pretty racially diverse cast. I mean, that kind of makes sense when you're in like when your settings are kind of like fantasy, India, and stuff like that. A frustrating thing is that it is almost impossible to convince someone that their reasons for disliking something or being upset about something are actually due to being to, just maybe you should examine your internal racial biases there. And people are like, well, no, I'm not racist. That's like, I have black friends and they all love it when I say the N word with them. It's always so baffling to me. It's just this. Yeah, they don't understand. It's not just saying, "Oh, you're a racist, you're irredeemable, whatever." It's you have lived in this system that is predisposed to be favorable towards people who are Caucasian, white passing, etc. And it's like even something as simple as like, "Oh, I have a rash." I'm able as a white person to easily Google photographs of what rashes should look like on my body. It is a lot harder to find photographs of what, say, shingles looks like on black skin. Or chickenpox or other kinds, other types of diseases that manifest on skin. We have millions of pictures of how it manifests on Caucasian skin. But and that's healthcare. One would think there should be databases of like, oh, here's how this manifests on Caucasian skin. Here's how this manifests on Latino skin. Here's how this manifests on Native American skin. On Southeast Asian skin. On all of this. But it's a culturally implicit bias that everything is coded to the default being Caucasian. And then you get into the fact that on top of everything generally being coded Caucasian, so many things are also coded to male expectations, pain tolerance, sensitivities, etc. I mean, heart attacks present different in women than men. Things like that. Black kid that wants to play this game. You can't play a black human now, but your culture is represented by orcs and trolls who are coded as sub-Saharan African and Caribbean. Yeah. Native Americans got to be cow people rather than humans. Asian people get to be giant joke fat pandas. Yeah, it's not great. And, seeing your culture, like even now, it's like, oh yeah, I've got representation. If I don't mind being othered. Black people as orcs, black people as trolls, black people as all of that stuff. And it's like, why can't the pure, pristine elf be a black person? Yeah, the basic message is if you're not the right kind of European, because even there's colorism in Europe too, and those because Spain is part of Europe. And all of this is, in some cases, it is entirely, it's a very different thing depending on what part of the world you're in, because I'm sure race issues are different in the UK, are different in New Zealand, which are all, Actually, is New Zealand predominantly white? I'm not sure about that. Mm-hmm. Okay. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to misspeak on that. I know there is a solid indigenous culture in New Zealand, and I wasn't sure how prevalent or widespread it was. Mary didn't get genocided as bad as most, but that's not saying much. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to do worse than the United States in case of indigenous cultures and how we've treated them. As a push to call New Zealand a Toyota again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not. We're not. That's not even getting into the non-indigenous cultures. Yeah. But just in this case, I was speaking mostly of the various native population in the United States and how absolutely atrociously they were treated by our forefathers if we were, natives of. Yeah, we were sold a huge number of guns and left to it by the Europeans who then came along after causing that, took over, offered a nice little piece to the survivors. Oh. Not quite as bad as smallpox blankets, but still pretty shitty. Not that we should really be putting comparisons on, human suffering here. Uh, Smallpox blankets thing was never deliberate since wasn't understood at the time. I thought that had actually been disproven, that there was actually intended malice there. Like, yeah, they may not have understood completely transmissivity, but a lot of people still understood if you hang out with sick people, you get sick. So if you give blankets that were wrapped up around the sick, they're probably going to get sick. Like I am pretty sure that's a thing that even back then people knew. Contemporary communication evidence that they knew the blankets would cause smallpox. That's what I thought. I mean, it's under debate, I think, so I may well be wrong. I Given historical precedents in other things, I am less inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to the ancient Spaniard in that manner. Okay, I think I understand the point you're trying to make there. Everyone's writing with a thesis and trying to prove it. Yeah, I do agree with Hisaya on that. I think it's become at least commonly accepted at this point that yes, it was willful, that they may not have understood the full extent of what they were doing in the way that we do now, but they knew that what they were doing would cause harm. Which it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm intending to kill, hundreds of people. It's just, harm is still harm. Yeah, I mean, it's not like genocide is really any better if it's accidental. I suppose in that case you could at least go, oh, well, but uh, the deaths still occurred. It's only slightly better. Um, I would be much more inclined to believe it was accidental if there were records of attempts to try to assist with what they had caused. Um, but a lack of remorse generally indicates purpose. Committing genocide and self defense. Yeah, that's kind of not really. Uh, that's not how that works. Oh yeah, no, we're still really shitty to our native population. Uh a lot of time, I mean, uh if there's a thing, we've been shitty about it. Yeah, unless you are the ideal of the American citizen, which is a self sufficient man who is married with kids. And even then, you best be perfect tip top behavior or else the puritanical ideals aren't great. The religious, well, that's puritanical ideals. It's a mess. We're a mess. I would like a refund. Huh. Nobody won, but the Native Americans really lost. I mean, you're not wrong. It's kind of funny. When I was younger, uh, both of my grandmothers are, or at this point probably were, heavily into genealogy. Um, so I know a lot of weird little facts about, my family history. Um, like I'm a third generation immigrant on both sides, but I also have relatives. Uh, One grandma traced family lineage back to the Revolutionary War, found out, where we stood on that. They were big into Civil War stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and the other grandma was like, Michigan had a celebration of some kind. Some My brain wants to say a sesquicentennial. I don't remember what that translates to off the top of my head. Um, and I have somewhere, I think, in my possession, or my mom still has it, a document stating that I had a ancestor who lived in the state of Michigan before Michigan was legally a state. And for a long time, I thought that was really cool. I was like, "Oh man, that's actually really cool." I have people who've lived, all the way back then and all that stuff. And over the years, I have come to realize that that means my relatives, my ancestors were uh complicit in removing Native Americans from their territory. And now I don't know what to do with that fact because it's not like I can actively do anything about this. I don't own property in the state of Michigan. I don't have any way of returning this land to the native populace that my ancestors fucked over. But yeah, now I just don't know what to do with this information. At the very least, it is something that is, at this point, a neat factoid about, Lasath, but is not exactly something I am actively proud of at this point. I understand that I am not my ancestors' crimes. That is not something that I believe. Uh, but it is still something that I wish I could do something. Being a human being who at this point is aware of what has, occurred, I wish there was something I could do in a meaningful manner that would, you know, oh, that's a statistic. Ah, yes. That is some light reading material. Uh, most celebrated holiday around the world is when they got rid of the British. Ah, yes. Various countries' Independence Days. Yes. Wonder if they'll do the same for America. Ugh. It'd be nice. We need to stop sticking our toes into everything. Need to actually, help the people at home who need help rather than being like, oh no, we can do something about this. Democracy for all. Yeah, maybe work on that at home first, yeah? Maybe do something about the rampant gerrymandering issue or racism or wage inequality or Ugh. America's foreign policy is yes. Yeah, it's absolutely frustrating being someone living in America right now and seeing exactly we could do so much as a people, as a country, and instead we're arguing over shit like mask mandates and whether or not vaccines are. It's exhausting. That's actually, yeah. Yes, rest well, Serenissima. It was good to see you. I am glad to see you are doing okay. Yeah, thank you. And the people who are just like, well, oh, yeah, surely this plan will be fine. No, wait. Why are you suggesting such a radical plan of action for this thing? There's no way that will work. And it's like, well, we wanted the slow plan, but you didn't let that happen. So now we kind of have to have the radical plan, or else. It kind of plays into that whole uh religion thing, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah. It's just, and it's like our ancestors looked at a disease and said, you know what? This disease is causing so much human suffering and pain and all of this. We're going to do a thing so that it just doesn't exist anymore. Because no one should have to deal with the pain and suffering of this disease. You know, smallpox, polio, whichever it is. And I just don't. I don't understand the conspiracy theorists who are like, oh yeah, COVID was all a government plan to get Trump out of office or some bullshit. Uh, Feels like every month there's a new variant. People are still dying from it. People are still getting disabled from it. And there are people arguing over whether or not they should wear masks, whether or not they should even get vaccinated for it, whether vaccination should even be a thing. Oh, yeah, I've said multiple times that I think Kettlefish was attempting to explain the evangelical supply side Jesus thing. I believe it's a joke in the sense of, well, we kind of have to laugh about it a little because the alternative is staring off into the distance, disassociating. I just realized I haven't really been talking for a little bit. The game is quiet? The game is quiet. Why is the game quiet? Right, because this whole time I've been sitting here with no background sound because my headphones turned off during my break. So, we have sound again. And of course OBS was like, oh right, that's just gone, so it's fine, I'll just go to default. And then... Also, I'm kind of confused how people get into places like this. Like, this place is all locked up and stuff, so... How did it get all graffitied? How do places like this get graffitied? Next station, access tunnels. Oh! See, I've never lived anywhere with a subway train system like this, so I don't really know how they work. Subways go above ground for a bit. Do they? Locked but unattended spaces get infiltrated pretty quickly. I mean, I do say this, and then I say that urban exploration is kind of a cool thing that I wouldn't mind doing. So, just climb onto the tracks. That sounds scary. That's how you get murdered by ghost trains. Fair point. That is a fair point. Abandoned skyscraper in Houston that has intensive... Really? Huh. The ingenuity of humanity never ceases to amaze me. I don't think it hasn't been torn down, but now I don't remember seeing it either. I mean, that is the thing about stuff that's just been there for so long. It just sort of becomes part of the background radiation. And then you're like, how long has that been like that? I don't know. Ages and ages. 30 years of graffiti piled on top of each other. me, let me, let, fine, go there. Let me jump. Used to be a hotel. Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's a light. So I know it's a little early, but I think I'm definitely losing steam. You've probably noticed that the conversational ability has dramatically declined over the last probably half hour or so. Um, so yeah, let's come back to this screen. Hello, game. There we go. I was just sitting there, not responding after I closed it. I'm glad I was able to. I was kind of worried that I wouldn't really feel up to it. And, I don't the fact that I wasn't quite able to make it through the entirety of the stream. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I am not surprised that my brain just was like, nope, we're done. Yeah, I was sick. I was definitely sick. Let's see. So I should be, I should be all good. Ah, ow, for Sunday, provided I don't, feel terrible again. Um, and hopefully I will be back to a normal screaming schedule. Yes, I'll just be like, I don't know why I did that. Oh, I hope I feel better too. The dizzy spells, I would like those to go away. Mm, you know what? Let's let's go. Let's go. I don't know how to English anymore. Okay, we're gonna go raid Mitsu. All right, we're gonna go raid Mitsu. Mitsu is doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke. I don't think I could do a Pokemon Nuzlocke. I would be too sad. Yes, Gossip. Gossip Hisaya. Thank you for hanging out. It was very good to see you. I missed all of you. I missed you. Oh no. I hope everyone has a good evening. I hope everyone has a good week or weekend. Weekend? Yeah, weekend. And I'll see you I'll see you sometime soon. You all are wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. It was very nice.